In this lesson, we're going to use additive animation layers on a motion capture clip to bend it to our will and tweak the performance for what we need for our shot. Let's get started.
Hey, welcome to Realtime Workflows. I'm MX Bell. I worked on Deadpool and Wolverine, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, 1917, Hobbs and Shaw, Wheel of Time, Little Mermaid, No Time to Die, tons more. What you're going to get in the channel are my pro tips and how I use Unreal Engine to make films. So let's get started. Let's make some stuff. See you down the road.
Welcome back to Realtime Workflows. Yeah, let's continue working on this shot, which is our kind of long shot. I'm still not finished with it, so we can see since I changed the shot so that his the transform node stays at his feet. I lost some of the rough work that I did in figuring out where he should be. So the first thing I'm going to do is add an additive animation layer to the root node. To really lock down where he's supposed to be on this path, and then we use additive animation layers on the control rig to adjust the performance. So let's get started. We've got our transform track, which you can see is what we did on the other lesson where we moved it from the root node onto the transform track. So we're going to go add and additive. So here's an additive animation layer. Now, as soon as I add an additive animation layer, I lock this layer. And it's worth noting now that we are using this layer, okay? And this layer, the first thing to do with an additive animation layer, this is the first concept I will drill into you, is you should put a keyframe where you're happy with the original. And wherever you want to pin the original to its position, you want to put a keyframe down. Now in this instance, we'll get to that more in a bit when we talk about the control rig, but in this instance, I just want to do that when he starts off walking, because after he starts walking, as we'll see, he soon ends up in the wrong place, right? He's now in the air because we need to animate him down, and we need to animate him side to side as well. So the only place where he's in the right place is right here at the start as he starts to walk. Okay, so I'm going to put a keyframe down on here. I'm going to go right to the end of the animation. And let's just see how far he is off in the Z. He's quite a way off in the Z. Okay. So I need to bring him down. And we'll put him there. So that's just a single additive animation that's just taking him down from his position in Z at the start and down here. Now we'll check it periodically as we go. For example, it's kind of right there. And the other thing that we're going to do now as well is set this as side-to-side motion as well. So we're just going to follow him down and just move him into position for all these kind of weaves that he has to do. So let's bring him back down here. Okay, so for a start, he's gonna intersect this thing. Okay, so we just need to bring his animation path just over here slightly. Okay, so it stays where he was to start with. Now he moves along, and we've brought him out over here, and so we can follow him down now, see what he's doing. I think he probably could do with being a little bit more that way, actually. Okay. Now, don't worry about I'm only worried about like kind of where this bit is. I'm not worried about these other intersections yet. We're going to fix those shortly. So I think that's all fine. And then when he gets to here, obviously he wants to be back over this way, so he walks into here. Let's just pull that here like that. Okay, he walks through there. Now he's going to do a quite hard one here, right? So what I don't want to do, if I just put this here, which is correct, because I didn't pin it here, he's actually kind of intersecting this as well. So that's fine. There's multiple ways to do this. I would suggest probably just want to do that. And now he's going to do this, okay? Which again will fix the actual animation of it in the next part. So he comes over here. Now obviously he's getting into this wall, so we need to bring him over. Keep him going. Keep him going. Let's just check his feet. His feet look good. Okay, so he keeps going. I would say there's probably going to be another curve here. So I'm going to press, even though I'm not changing his position, I'm going to put a keyframe down because I want to make sure that he's in that position next. I'm going to move him here, look. I'm going to move him here. And that's him to his start position now. So that's broadly what we're doing. Now there's an argument for on a curve like this, when he changes direction like this, there's an argument for in the middle here we could change his direction slightly as well, which feels better. And maybe we'll do that down here as well. These are very broad changes. We'll get into the minutiae in a minute. Okay. So for example, I think this one I'm going to do in a bit more detail, but let's just see. What I might do is I might just put a keyframe here, and I might get rid of this one. And then, yeah, okay, yeah, we didn't need that. And then I think maybe just turn him slightly. And then here, turn him slightly again. Yeah, okay, that's feeling pretty good. Now, we would get some feet slide in here, as you can see, but again, if your camera's on the feet, then maybe you need to worry about that. I don't need to worry about it because I know that my camera is just following him down the trench. That's our additive transform track. Okay, now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to right-click the body, and we're going to right-click the body, and we're going to baked control rig, Metahuman control rig, and click create. So now we've got our Metahuman. He's coming down the trench, and what we want to do is we're going to do exactly the same thing. This is why I like to use these, because it's the same process. So we add an additive layer, and again lock the original layer. In our Metahuman additive animation layer, I'm going to set a key at the last frame that I'm happy with, which for me was around here. And I'm also going to set a key at the next frame I'm happy with. And what we're doing is creating two sandwich keys. So we're sandwiching where we're happy with what's in the original layer and where we're happy once we get back to the original layer. So if I'm happy with it here, then what we're saying is the next time I'm happy with it is probably here, right? Once we've got around this corner. So I'm going to add another additive keyframe here. And I do recommend just setting a key on everything. Like I've keyed every control in here by keeping this down. It keeps everything nice and tidy. You know where you are with everything. You don't have to stick to it, but as a starting point, I tend to do that. Okay, so let's get two cameras out now. And I like to use two cameras, and then we'll go down here and we'll see what do we need to do. I think he needs to sort of rotate his shoulders. I think he's going to give it some of that, but I think probably he's going to do it as well. We'll probably do it across all of them. And so if we select all of these and we rotate, the rotation, because they're parented, the rotation is actually combined, so you don't need very much. Let's see how that feels. And I feel like it probably wants to come out as well. So it probably wants to come out a little bit. So already see that's just got a little bit more. It's just got a little bit more life to it. With the arm, I think the arm would kind of do that. Yeah. Then return to normal. Everything returns to normal. And I nearly think maybe you might do the opposite as he goes around the next corner. So over that way. And then let's see if we did the opposite. Grab these four. Just this way slightly. See? Now that just feels like it's got a little bit more. Let me show you another trick with additive layers. This is a good one. This is good. Let's add another soldier. Okay, here he is. What we're going to do now is add a little glance. Just a bit of a character moment between the two. They're not getting along, these two. Okay, so I've added a bit of room in the camera for a little look over here with this guy. So I'm just going to grab an idle anim from Mixamo. Right, and I want one just with got this the most subtle motion possible. You see, it barely moves. This is a really good trick. 24 without skin download. So I'm just going to drop my idle anim in. Okay, we're going to import it for Adam and import only animations. So we go import. This is how quick it is to get one of these animations in. We go right click, retarget animations. We're going to pick here, so it can be any of the metahumans. We're just going to do it for this one. Medium narrow body, and we select idle 3. We see it's going to retarget it. Export animations, and then I put them in Mixamo, and anim's retargeted, and I put a suffix of RTG at the end, so it's not got the same name. Click export. There it is. Again, I'm going to do a full lesson on this little trick, but this is the quick version of it. So for this guy, we're going to add body animation idle that we just made. Here it is, idle, and then we right click and we go baked control rig, same as we did before. So now all this is an idle on a control, and it's just got a control rig on it, right? So now what we can do is we can then we're going to do one keyframe. We're going to do two actually. We might do one keyframe to pose him, and then another keyframe for everything else. So we're going to add additive. Okay, lock the original. We're not going to do an anchor pose for this because we're not happy with the pose at all. We're going to repose him entirely using this. So when we put our keyframe down, that's our pose. So we put a keyframe in. So it doesn't work until the idle kicks in because it's adding onto the idle, remember? So if we go before the idle happens, the idle's here, it doesn't work. But once the idle's on, it's working. And you can see now he's kind of being cocky. I think we would probably move this in. Oops, I'll do it on this frame. Move it in. Maybe he's smoking or something, I don't know what he's doing, but... And then the key bit, the crucial bit, is going to be the head and the eyes, right? So we're going to have him, as soon as we can see him, he's looking at our guy. And he's tracking him. There we go. So do that. And what that means then is obviously we'll return the favor over here on our hero. We're going to do all this. So we're going to add another key here. Another key on everything, really. So we're just going to make him look at this guy. And it doesn't have to be very slight because the eyes are going to do a lot of the lifting. Come here, we've got this. See? Now that has just got a bit more character to it, right? We've just added a bit of character to our shot. So there's our shot. Now what we've done is we've used additive layers to change not just the performance but also the position in the world. And we've added an extra character here, and we've added an idle with an additive offset pose. So what the idle means is it just stays alive a little bit. I'll do a full lesson on this because it's an interesting subject and it's a cheat I worked out years ago. And yeah, there you go. That's additive animation layers on Metahumans. But you can use it on anything in Unreal Engine. You can use it on cameras, you could use it on anything that's animated, and you can use it on performance as well. So cool, see you on the next one.